New government or partition, what does Russia plan to do with Ukraine after the victory? I tell you simply. A very curious question is, what is Russia going to do with the current Maidan Ukraine after our victory? In fact, there are several options for the development of events here at once. Capture of war criminals.That's the main thing. First of all, it is planned to catch all Ukrainian war criminals, AFU generals, right-wing nationalists, on whose hands the blood of residents of Kiev, Donbass, Odessa, and other places has been baked since 2014. America has allowed itself to do this more than once in recent history with its Guantanamo and The Hague, ruthlessly grabbing the same innocent Milosevic, cruelly dealing with Gaddafi and Hussein. Why does Russia not have the right to do this to the real executioners of its own people? Permission of the opposition and native Russian. Obviously, all political prisoners of the Maidan regime will be released. Free broadcasting of opposition channels will be opened, including in the native Russian language for most so-called Ukrainians. Who will govern Ukraine? It should be noted right away that Russia does not plan to occupy Ukraine or join it yet. The most likely scenario is the restoration of the legitimate pre-Maidan authorities after Zelensky's expected imminent flight to the west. Thus, Yanukovych may return to Kiev. Yes, Viktor Yanukovych is not the most popular person in Ukraine. But the Ukrainian people have clearly regretted more than once that they did not protect him in January-February 2014. Besides, Yanukovych is the last legitimate and legitimately elected president of Ukraine. After his return in the country, for example, 6 months later, it will be possible to hold legitimate presidential elections. However, it is clear that the United States and the part of Europe controlled by it will simply refuse to recognize the new legitimate government of Ukraine. Then there are possible options for federalization of Ukraine or its division into eastern and western parts, approximately along the Dnieper. Referendums in Novorossiya. Also, some residents of Ukraine, Odessa, Kharkiv residents, Dnipropetrovsk residents, Kherson residents, even Kiev residents, can hold referendums on returning to their historical homeland, Russia. For example, in the form of the federal district of Novorossiya, plus the LPR and the DPR. A complete remaking of Ukraine into the state of Novorossiya with the separation into a special country of western Ukraine, Galicia is not excluded. However, let's hope that Ukraine will still remain whole, independent of the United States, and finally a truly fraternal and Slavic state friendly to Russia.